plot in here. Okay, so we want to talk about the finding hidden champions. So when we talk about the champions, and you will know this is an excellent company. So maybe they are really good at their business performance. But here has the term is hidden. What is hidden means? Hidden means is maybe when we talk about our Taiwan stock status, and the most people will talk you about a semiconductor or something. But you will find out some company, just like Invisible, you cannot find out this kind of the company. But actually they are really good at their performance, but we don't know. So we will call this kind of the company, this maybe is small company, and they have a good revenue, and we will call this kind of the company the hidden champions. Okay, Taiwan in so many sectors we are really good, but actually in this kind of the sectors is not visible like the semiconductor or electronic or the other things. For example, in our previous semester, okay, you come to my course, it's about information management, right? I told you one company is GTech. GTech is focused on the ruggedized computer. And the computer is for the military service. But maybe before our course, no persons know who is GTech. But after our course, you will find out that, oh, they have the good revenue, and they are really good at their performance. Okay, so maybe that is just a kind of the hidden champions. Hidden champions. And in Chinese, we say 隐形冠军. Okay, so the hidden champion, that means this is a small company, but they dominate a niche. Okay, so they are settled down in the niche market. So invisible to consumers and indispensable to their industry. Okay, so that is hidden champions. And then now we want to depend on our Excel file to find out some hidden champions. So we just define the research question is here. Among companies that are below average in size, just we can depend on their revenue, and maybe their size is quite small. So which industry sector deliver the highest average returns on equity? Returns on equity is ROE. Just maybe depends on our shareholders, and they want to invest for our company, and as they invest $1, how many money can returns? So we will call this term as returns on equity. Okay, maybe the definition is not truly correct because that is not my domain. I just want to share with you, there is a formula, it's about the ROE, and we can create a variable, is ROE, and depends on ROE to find out our hidden champion. Okay, and then now we have a 4 step we need to do. The first one is we need to define ROE. And in previous page, we already defined what is ROE. And the second one is, the first one is we will using our existing variable and to create a new variable. Okay, just like our ROE variable. And the second one is we will find the median. Just we need to understand what the value is in the median of the company. And behind that value, so that means that is a small company. So we needed to define our small one. So also filter the small, just keep below median rows. And the fourth one is we need to set it up with a group and to get the mean ROE per sectors. In the final one, we will rank descending, show the top 3. Okay, so we will find out that maybe it's a small company, but they get the highest ROE value. Okay, so that is our process. So in your final projects, you can also show with us your projects, your process. Maybe at the beginning you can tell me a story, and then after that you can show me the process, and then you can step by step, and what's the results. And it depends on the results, you can show us your points. Why the results will be this. Okay, you needed to tell me the reasons. Okay, so that will be your final project. So what is ROE? Actually, ROE is return on equity, the most used profitability indicators in finance. So when we evaluate this company can earn the good profit or not, we can depend on the ROE, this variable. And ROE is net income divided by total equity. Total equity. Total equity is about our stakeholders' equity. Okay, so this variable is just talk about for every $1 of shareholder equity, how many dollars of profit did the company generate? So maybe for this company, this means we needed to go to the stock market, right? And when we go to the stock market, that means we want to make the public can invest in our company. So if today we get so many investment, can we truly translate the investment to become our revenue or not? Okay, so that is about our profitability. So we want to using the ROE as an indicator to talk about these things. If today you are really care about the stock market and so many investors, they will really care about this indicator. Okay, so that's the reason why we want to talk about the ROE. Okay, and here has experience. Maybe if your ROE is higher than 15%, and that is quite strong. And if you lower than 5%, this is so weak. Okay, so maybe we can have this idea, this point, this principle in our mind. In the later, we can depend on these things and to have more feeling with the data. Okay, so now we have our process. Okay, in the latest we will show you. So the first of all, we want to define the ROE. ROE is what? Net income divided by total equity. So we can go to our Excel file to see this one, net income and the total equity. The total equity is this one, total equity. Okay, and the unit is NT dollars. Okay, and another one is our net income. Where is our net income? Oh, here, the variable 3, this is our net income. So we will depend on these three, the V3 and the V12. So you can go to the data sheet and you will find out that net income is here. Oh, some of the value is minus, right? And also we can depend on the total equity is in here. Okay. In the latest, we will depend on these two columns and to create a new one. That is about the ROE. So we can go to here. I will show you in here. The first one is ROE. We define the ROE indicator. And the latest, we want to show the three things. The first one is company name. And the second one is net income. And the third one will total equity. And the fourth one will be the ROE. Okay, so we can see this one. The top company, we got the 5 company, and we have these 3 columns. Okay, so that is our first step, get the ROE. And after that, we needed to find out the median revenue. Okay, to find out the median revenue. Why we needed to find out the median revenue? That is because we say the hidden champion. That means this is a small company, but they have the good revenue. They have the good return. So we need to understand which company is smaller than our median. Okay, median value. So we can define the new variable is median revenue, and the DF revenue dot median. This is a function in Panda, so we can use median directly, and we will get this revenue. And we will show you is this one. The median revenue is this one. So if today the number is lower than this revenue, so that means that will be the small one. That will be the small one. Okay? So we can see here Maybe some of you were really curious with that. Why we wanna using the median, not using the average mean? 为什么要用中位数，不用平均数？ Why we choosing the median to evaluate that is small or big, and we don't using the average? Why? Is there anyone can tell me? Yes. 西语，可以大声一点。OK， 平均数比较容易受到极端值影响。Just maybe if today we're using the average, maybe some number is quite large or quite small, and this will have dominate the whole status. Okay, so just like here, you can see here has an example. We have the 7 value in here. The first one is 1, second one is 2, third one will 2, 2, 2, 3, and the later one will be 100. And if today we conduct an average, and this will become 16. But most of only one number is larger than 16, right? So the average is not fair. And if today we using the median is 2, okay, this is just in the central of the number. So if today we say smaller than median, that is a small one. It's larger than median, so this 2 will be the large one. Okay, so we will try to use in the median. So that is the reason why we want to define the small or a big. Okay, so the second step is we define the small one. Okay. And here you can see this one. I'm using the small DF revenue is smaller than median revenue or not. Okay, so I will just show you small. Okay, I'm using the company name English, sector English name, and the revenue and the ROE. So we will show you which one is smaller than our median revenue. Okay, you can see the salmon, the food, all this company is smaller than our median revenue. Okay, so we can just using these 3 steps and to find out which company is a small company. Okay, so now it's your turn. You can try to define the ROE and also find out the small company. So please look at here. So we already defined a small data frame. Okay, traditionally we have the data frame name is the DF, right? DF, that we have the 1,800 company. But if today we talk about the small one, maybe only around the 900 companies. So we will depend on this 900 company to conduct an analysis. Okay, so we can see here the small company we have a total is 899 companies. Okay, so if today you want to further your understanding about the small company, you can use in this way to find out our small company. Okay, so in here you can look at our small company. That is the data from our small company. Okay, so if you already finished, and we will keep going about the mean ROE per sectors. What's this meaning? Actually, we needed to understand in this small company, maybe there's 900 companies, we needed to group by it. Okay, we needed to know how many sectors in these, we needed to understand which kind of the industry have the most company in here. Okay, for example, I can use in the small dot group by. The group by is what? We can depend on the sector English name to give it as a group. Okay, so later we will see that is agriculture group, automobile group, biotech group, or building group. Okay, we can see so many groups in here. So that is about small group by. But we know small group by is not enough. We needed to understand each industry, their status. What kind of the status? We needed to know their ROE status. So we depend on their ROE to gain their average. So we're using the mean function. Okay, so we're using the sector ROE head. We will see their ROE mean, their ROE average status. Okay, so just in here we can see all the data. Okay, we can see their ROE status. But that is not enough. We needed to keep going. Is the sector ROE? We needed to sort value, ascending force. So maybe that is no need from the largest to the small, but we want to get the top 3. Okay, so we can use in this way. Okay, so the first one is oil group. The second one will be the finance group. The third one will be the shipping group. Okay, so you can see we just using the 2 steps, and we can get here. We can get here the top 3. The ROE is quite good, but they are small. They have the most small company. Okay, but when you get this result, this is not finished yet. But maybe you needed to depend on these 3 things and to tell a story. Okay, for example, you can see here, the first one is oil. Why oil have the good return? Why finance has a good return? Why shipping has a good return? So in here, we just try to analyze that. Okay, we just want to show the reason. Or why the oil is quite high, why the finance is quite high, why the shipping and their returns is quite good. Okay, so we can depend on our result to further more description. Okay, so you can using our step 4 and step 5 to finish that. Okay, so that is your turn. All right, please look at here. Okay, so if you're using the ascending 2, that will from the smallest to the largest. And if you're using the force, that will be the largest to the smallest one. And in here, we can just depend on the small company and in the oil group, and their average ROE is the highest. Is the highest, right? So, do you remember that what the number is good? The 11% and 8%, 8%. In the previous page, we told you there has when we evaluate about the ROE, there has a number is really critical. What kind of the numbers? Is there anyone remember the numbers? 15, right? But we need to notice that here is an average. So in this industry, their average is the 11%. So the most of company in here, they have a really good ROE. If today you can invest, I want to become the stakeholder here, right? Okay, so that is about the sectors. And that is not enough, so we need to understand the status in this group, in the different industry sectors. So we will keep going. Is here about the drill into the top sectors. Okay, so we need to understand in the sector English name is equal to oil, gas. Okay, we need to understand in the oil group what kinds of the company in here. So this is utilities. And in utilities, we can use in the largest, depends on the ROE. So we need to find out that which company is have the largest ROE in oil group, right? And then we want to show the few columns. The first one will company name, second one will be revenue, third one will net income, fourth one will be total equity, and the last one will be ROE. So we can do this way to find out the top 5, but only 4. Maybe that is only 4 companies in here. So in here, we can see the ROE. The first one, Xintai Gas Corporation, this is 14%. Is nearly to the 15%. And the Xintai Gas Corporation is also 11%. And the Xinxin is also 11%. And the Xingao is less than 1, only 6%. But we needed to notice that that is small company, but they have the good returns. Okay, so maybe you can depend on this to tell more story about that. Okay, and do you notice here? White our value will be this one. E at 09. E at 09. What's this? Is there anyone can tell me what's this? This we call the scientific notation, 科学记号, scientific notation. That is also a way to present the number, the value. But actually, this is not really easy for us to observe the value. So we can, using another way, is this one. This one. Okay, we can define the column, how to show that. So we can use in this way. To find out the numbers. So this is easier to watch out for the value, right? So how to define that? I will show you in here. This raw output is quite hard to read. So we will try to change it to this way, setting up with our style. So we can define the style format and the revenue, what kind of the style, net income, and the total equity. We can set him with a different style. Okay, so how to define that? Just this one. Okay, the column starts the receipt and the punctuation, decimal, and the type. Okay, so the first one is we have the punctuation or not. Okay, if today we have a punctuation, so we will got the 1000 separator. We will got the 1000 separators. 所以如果你要千分位的话，你就必须要有一个逗号，就是冒号之后你要加一个逗号。And if you wanna have the decimal, okay, maybe you want some kind of the indicators we need to get the floating point, right? So you will use in this way. Just we will show how many decimal places you need. Okay. Maybe you wanna have 1 decimal, 2 decimal, or 4 decimal. This is really depends on you. Okay. And so if you can see here back 0, so we don't need it to any decimal. Okay, we don't need it to any floating numbers. So this will be back 0. And the latter one will be type. The type you can choose in the number, percent, or scientific notation. So that's the 3 things. You can use in the F. F will be our normal number. And the second one will be the percent. And our default will be the E. Okay, this is just scientific notation. So now you will know, if today we have punctuation, so we will know this is 1000 separator. And if today we got back 0, that means we don't need to any floating point number. And the next one will be F. That means we want to get a normal numbers. Okay, so we can use in this way to represent our style format. Okay, so in here, you can find out that is they needed 1000 separator. So the top 3, we have 1000 separator, right? And also the 0, back 0 means we don't have any floating numbers. Okay, and F is just normal numbers. Okay. And in here we can see the back 1%. What is back 1%? We needed to 1 floating point number in here. Okay, so that is just style format. And we can depend on this and to show the good numbers. Okay, so you can see I depends on here and also tells a story. Oh, in the oil group we can find out that in this kind of the industry, this is a small one, regulated one, local one, but they have the high ROE and with a small size. Okay, so we can depend on this to show our insights with others. So this is just like a project. So your final project will also follow this style and to find out another interesting topic. Okay, so it's your turn. You can try to finish this step 6. I want to ask you a question. Is in here we already defined a small company, right? And we depend on these small companies, and we find out that which industry has the largest ROE. Okay, but I want to ask you, if today we using another way is This one is shoe. Here will be the shoe. Okay. Ascending will be the shoe. So this will form the smallest one. Okay. So I wanna ask you why these three sectors is a small three. Okay. So please tell me why these three industry is the smallest one in 2023. Okay, you can show me to your understanding. You can show me your understanding. Maybe you can also try to find out what kind of the companies in these sectors, and you can show me some things. So I will open the video, and the later please answer this question. Okay, so please answer this question is why information service, plastic, culture, and creative sectors ROE are quite small in 2023. So you can show me a picture, or today you wanna use the text to tell me the reason. That is also be fine. Okay, so please answer this question.